Hello again. In the description to this video, I give a link to the government website which records the number of illegal immigrants arriving in this country each day. In the last 2 days, a total of 1,000 more have come to Britain. This means that we shall have to build 500 new homes just to accommodate a couple of days' worth of illegal immigrants. This really cannot go on indefinitely because our country simply cannot afford it. Even before those new houses are built, it will cost us £4,300 a month each to keep these people in hotels. Multiplying 4,300 by 1,000 gives us 4,300,000 a month. Just for the people who have arrived in 2 days. The average monthly pay for a National Health Service nurse is £2,782. This means that for what those 2 days worth of asylum seekers are costing us, we could have another 1,545 extra nurses in our hospitals. And that is just 2 days' worth of illegal immigrants and the costs they are inflicting upon us all. Despite the constant criticism of this channel, I do not see this as racist in the slightest degree, and nor do I see it as being indicative of xenophobia either, come to that. We simply cannot afford to let every discontented or hungry person from the third world come and live here at our expense. Because if we do so, then the standard of living in Britain will fall until it matches that of the Congo or Afghanistan. This would, I suppose, be an egalitarian outcome looked at from a global perspective, but it would not benefit those of us who currently live in this country in any way at all. What I find mysterious is that this is very obvious to anybody who ditches their ideological spectacles and just examines the situation objectively, and yet there seems to be no appetite at all for doing so. Instead, people fall back on empty slogans and catchphrases such as racist, woke, loony left, fascist, and so on. Rather than look at the situation and ask ourselves serious questions about it, we prefer the comfort of reciting the same tired old mantras as usual. Speaking for myself, I have no interest in right-wing or left-wing racism or anti-racism, Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak, because these words and names will not help us get to grips with something which threatens our very nation. I've said before that I'm opposed to violence in general, but it is interesting to see how other nations deal with illegal immigrants whom they fear might pose a threat to their way of life. Take that staunch ally and friend of the West, for instance, Saudi Arabia. There is instability on their borders from war in Yemen, which is being stoked up, of course, by the Iranians, who have a finger in many of the pies in the Middle East. Saudi is determined that the chaos and disorder in Yemen will not cross the border and begin to infect their own country, and so they have a fairly straightforward method for ensuring that this does not happen. It entails ordering their border guards to issue warnings to illegal immigrants who are approaching the border and to tell them to turn back. If these warnings are disregarded, then the order is given to open fire with machine guns and rocket launchers. I'm not in favour of this ruthless method of controlling borders, but of its efficacy there cannot be the least doubt.